All right, friends, so we have talked about mold lately. So if you've watched the last couple of videos, we've talked about the symptoms that mold causes. Oftentimes mold makes us feel like we're aging, we're getting older. It's labeled as just the common diagnosis of old age. The symptoms of mold are literally the same as what we would consider old age. So mold, it's so important to learn about. It's so important to just get and to learn how to keep your house clean, learn what to use and what not to use. It's just for our health, because when we age, we want to age well. We want to age with our life. It says in the Bible, it talks about Moses and Aaron, really. They were like, Aaron was 123 years old. And Moses was near that age too, like 120, I think. And they climbed the mountain, and Moses was able to see the promised land on the other side. He could see it. So his eyes, his vision was good. His hearing must have been pretty good. He was hearing from the Lord, and he was able to climb up a mountain before he died at like 120, 100 and some years old. So I want to age like that. I have a vision of aging well. I have a vision of having life at the end of my life. There's a lot of people who just go when it's time to go. That's my goal. And that can be yours too. We don't have to age sick. We can enjoy the end of our life. So I have a vision for that. I hope that I'm distilling that vision into you also, that you don't have to age poorly. You can enjoy life. So, and enjoy it to the fullest. So, as we continue to learn about mold, I want to talk about how to clean mold. Last week we talked about bleach. Do not use bleach. Do not use bleach. Bleach with mold makes it more toxic. It feeds it. It allows it to grow faster. It's really just not an effective tool to use. It looks like it's killing the mold, but it's not. It just deceives our eyes. So it's actually feeding it. So don't use bleach. So what do we use? Before I go into this, please bear with me, because the scriptures actually have a lot to say about this. So let's see, Leviticus 14:33 through 57. Look it up, follow along, whatever you want to do. And no, I am in the NLT version when I'm reading right now. So the NLT version calls it a leprous plague. Some versions, no, I'm sorry, I'm in the New King James. The New King James calls it a leprous plague. And you'll see it's mold as I'm reading. Some versions, I think the NLT calls it mildew. But take a listen. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, when you have come into the land of Canaan, which I give you as a possession, and I put the leprous plague in a house in the land of your possession, and he who owns the house comes and tells the priest, saying, it seems to me that there is some plague in the house. Then the priest shall command them that they empty the house before the priest goes into it and examine the plague, that all that is in the house may not be made unclean. And afterward the priest shall go in to examine the house, and he shall examine the plague. And indeed, if the plague is on the walls of the house with ingrained streaks of greenish or reddish, which appear to be deep in the wall, then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house and shut up the house 7 days. And the priest shall come again on the 7th day and look. And indeed, if the plague has spread on the walls of the house, then the priest shall command that they take away the stones in which is the plague and they shall cast them into the unclean place outside the city. And he shall cause the house to be scraped inside all around, and the dust that they scrape off shall pour out into an unclean place outside the city. Then they shall take other stones and put them in the place of those stones. He shall take other mortar and plaster the house. Now if the plague comes back and breaks out in the house after he has taken away the stones, after he has scraped the house, and after it is plastered, then the priest shall come and look, and indeed if the plague has spread in the house, it is an active leprosy in the house, and it is unclean. And he shall break down the house and its stones, its timber, and the plaster of the house, and he shall carry them outside the city to an unclean place. Moreover, he who goes into the house at all while it is shut up, and shall be unclean until evening. And he who lies down in the house shall wash his clothes, and he who eats in the house shall wash his clothes. But if the priest comes in and examines it, and indeed the plague has not spread in the house after the house was plastered, then the priest shall pronounce the house clean, because the plague is healed. And he shall take to cleanse the house 2 birds, cedar wood, scarlet, and hyssop. Okay, so that's the law of the leprosy. So the law of mold, ultimately, according to the Word of God. So there's actually other scriptures about mold and mildew right in the Bible. There's tons of guidance here. So notice it needed to be gotten rid of. And anyone who is, all the belongings needed to come out of the house. All the people who were in the house needed to clean. So mold is toxic. The Bible is warning us that it can spread and that it's toxic for us. And so caution needs to be taken care of. The house needed to be locked up. So, and then there's certain things to look for and all of that. So take mold seriously. It's so important. So when I'm talking about cleaning mold, there's 3 products that I focus on using. 3 main products, and maybe a 4th sometimes. These products are inexpensive. There's going to be a lot of people trying to sell expensive products for cleaning mold. I don't believe you need them. You need 3 inexpensive products, and most of them you probably have in your house already. So the first one is peroxide. Peroxide is able to get into the mold, and it bubbles. It's eating away that fungi. It's eating it away. It's actually killing it. The next one you may or may not have in your house, borax. Borax is an excellent product for killing mold. It's also, on a side note, an excellent product for killing ants, killing roaches, killing those little bugs that kind of come in and try to irritate you. Borax is excellent for that. Let's see, vinegar is the 3rd one. Probably you have just plain old distilled vinegar in your house. You can use vinegar, you can mix it 50-50 with distilled water. The key is distilled water. You do want to use distilled water, but those are 3 products that you can use. Borax, peroxide, vinegar. Those are 3 products I always have in my house. The 4th one that is very helpful that I usually add in is baking soda. And most of us have baking soda also. And so yeah, those 4 products are really key. So examples of, I've listed out some examples of what to use which one with. So material or cloth, if you can throw it in the washing machine, throw it in with a cup of borax and some baking soda in the softener spot. not baking soda, sorry, that was completely messed up. So sorry. So borax in the washing machine where you would put your laundry soap, your dry laundry soap, and then vinegar in where you put the softener. So those two will take mold out of material that can be thrown into the washing machine. This isn't for like pillows and stuff, anything with the fluff. Stuffed animals, all of that, that needs to be thrown out if they've been exposed to mold. Needs to be gotten rid of. Plastic, you can spray it with peroxide, you can wipe it down with a borax water, or you can wipe it down with a vinegar water. So like put it in a spray bottle. Foam, you need to completely remove, you need to get rid of. Any type of foam products. Bare wood. Sometimes you can spray it with peroxide and the peroxide will get inside that wood and it will clean it out. If it's really, really deep, if the mold is really deep, you just need to get rid of it. If the wood has a finish on it, same thing as like plastics. You can spray it with peroxide, you can spray it with vinegar water, you can wipe it down with borax, stuff like that you can do. Cardboard, completely get rid of. Anything with cardboard needs to be destroyed. Carpet is a big one. Here's the problem with carpet. First off, mold is able to go underneath the carpet and stay there and hide there. Mold is also known to grow inside the glues that are used to glue down the foam, the padding. Mold grows there. And then the foam, the padding, holds the mold, and every time you step on it, it goes poof with more mold. Poof, more mold. Poof. So every time it's being stepped on, you're rolling on it, you're walking around on it, the dog walks around, that mold is being thrown back into the air for us to breathe. Remember how the scriptures said that lock up the house so it's not able to be exposed. You're re-exposing yourself every time you're walking on that carpet. It's only a short matter of time, whether the carpet's new or old, short matter of time before that carpet is moldy. Let's see, some other examples. Oh, I lost my place. Well, tile, very easy to clean with vinegar. Grout, using borax is really good for cleaning out that grout. If you need to, you could mix some vinegar and baking soda and get that kind of reaction going. You can spray it with peroxide, but the tile can be wiped clean with any of those three products. Laminate flooring. Laminate flooring is another one of those products very similar to carpet in that glue underneath the laminate. If your laminate flooring has glue underneath it to hold it down, it molds under there. So I don't know if you've ever tore up old laminate, but it will make you really, really sick really fast. Mold, it just starts growing underneath there with that glue. I don't know, something about the glue and its capabilities of just mixing really well and growing mold. So I wouldn't do laminate, especially with any glue in there. Let's see, glass, you can just wipe clean. With any of those products that's going to kill mold. It's very common for mold to grow, especially in the wintertime here in Michigan, for it to grow along the windowsills if you keep the curtains too tight. So spray it down with peroxide, use some vinegar, wipe it clean. I wash my windows. I don't have any chemicals in my house. So I wash my windows with vinegar and distilled water combined 50-50, and that's what I use to wash my windows. So I'm always using a product that's that's killing mold, whether I see mold or not. Let's see. One thing about vinegar though is you don't want to use it on your the really nice countertops. Not the marble, but granite countertops. Don't use, that'll destroy the finish. So you don't want to use vinegar on that. You just want to probably use borax water, really. Let's see, drywall. Drywall needs to be gotten rid of. The backside of drywall, that kind of papery, cardboardy, that is perfect for feeding mold. Mold loves that stuff. So need to totally get rid of the drywall that's been exposed to mold. And I think that is about all the products that I have listed. If you think of any products that you're questioning, then throw them in the comments section and I will throw out my suggestion. But besides that, go to my bio and grab my free how to clean mold guide, because it'll list all the products you need. Along with baking soda, borax, peroxide, vinegar, you also want to have protective gear. You want to have goggles, you want to have a face mask, you want to have gloves, because you don't want to expose your skin. Because remember, anytime mold gets inside of us, it has the ability to clog up our detoxification processes, our detoxification organs, making us more likely to get sick. A lot of times after people first start phases, they clean mold, or they live in a moldy house and they're sick all the time with just cold. Maybe it's pneumonia, maybe it's COVID, maybe it's whatever, lung stuff. That's oftentimes caused by mold. So, and it's just accumulating and accumulating and accumulating. So use caution. Finally, after the protective gear, you also want to have a good binder. And I really wish I would have had my binder in here with me, but I really like 2 binders. They're my absolute favorites. The problem is one is doctor grade, and so it's really hard to get. It's really hard to access, and that is biotoxin. Biotoxin is a binder specifically made for mold. Biotoxin is a binder that I used, I loaded up with so much while I was healing from mold. You can get it from Cellcore Biosciences, but you do need a doctor to gain access to it, a functional medicine doctor. I do have some tips for getting that if you want to reach out. And then second one is chlorella. Chlorella is easy to get to, and I even have a coupon code on my bio. But a lot of times chlorella is grown in a moldy environment. So that does no good to get rid of mold if the chlorella itself is moldy. So the one that I recommend that I've never had a problem with it being moldy at all is from Energy Bits. It's called Recovery Bits. It's specifically chlorella. It's Recovery Bits because it helps you recover. It pulls out the mold. It pulls out the toxins. It even pulls out heavy metals. If you know that you have heavy metal exposure, mercury fillings or arsenic or whatever, it's really good at pulling all that out too. So both of those binders I absolutely love. The biotoxin binder I'm not able to put in my bio, but the chlorella Energy Bits I am able to, and I was able to get a coupon code for you. So I think it's Angela G. Check out my bio. I'm pretty sure it's Angela G. So those, you've got to have a binder. And if you are being constantly exposed to mold, you want to be taking this constantly until you can get unexposed, until you can get out of the moldy environment. You definitely want to be taking this constantly. So I hope that helps. I know this is a really long video. In summary, I have a super easy like 1 page, maybe it's 2 pages, guide for cleaning mold, all the products you need. They're so inexpensive, friends. It doesn't have to be expensive to work. So grab your free mold guide and grab your coupon and let's get healthy. Let's age well. Let's not let mold stop us. It's not something that we need to fear. It's something that we just need to deal with properly. There's just strategies. So be encouraged, be strengthened. Love you guys. Mwah.